Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Pz.Kpfw B2740F. In other words, it's the Panzer B2. It's a tier 4 German premium heavy tank. In fact, it's the lowest tier heavy tank that they do, and it's located on the north spawn of Abbey under my control. Yes, it's under my General Disturbance account. I was actually going through the various tanks that I had on the list. Because obviously the changes they made to the various parts of the tech tree, making some of the heavies as mediums and some of the mediums as heavies, I had to move the crews around, and I suddenly realised I hadn't played the Panzer B2 in a while. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Now, it's basically a converted Char B1 that the Germans captured as a Butte Panzer or Prize Panzer, and then they converted for use for their own forces. It's got a 47mm gun in the turret, and they've removed the 75mm gun that was in the hull and covered that with extra armour, and they put armour around the driver's port as well. It makes it rather an OP heavy tank. It can only go 30 km an hour forwards and 10 backwards, but it's so heavily packed with armour. And of course it sees tier 4 and tier 3 tanks only, because it's one of those, I forgot what they call them now, but the tanks that are only listed to C tanks of their own tier or others. And I found my first enemy. It's a T-29 tier 3. I fired my first round at him but didn't get a hit, but he's actually come up behind my guys, and so I'm just going to keep plugging him in his rear until he gets the message that I don't really want him shooting my teammates. Good eye, and there's my first kill. Well, I can see there's a Strodny Viz 39 coming up the same road, and I also see there's more more enemy tanks just around the corner. And one of our BT7 Arts has had to disappear down the side of the cliff because there were so many of them. Now, I made a bit of a mistake here because I went and engaged these guys here, but just forgot about the Strodny, and so I turned to engage him. And now I realise the other guys are going to come up behind me. So what I've got to do is get rid of this one and then turn and face them one by one. So I'm just going to go in on this Strodny Viz 39, which is a medium tank built in 1939, and he's gone. Now I can turn around and deal with these other tanks one by one. And this is the site of the massacre when I was in the Matilda the last time. You may remember that. The exact same position. And I'd actually been here before, and now I'm aiming at the M3 Stuart, tempting them to shoot me. They're not getting through the armour, and they're having a bit of trouble. The only one who actually does do any good is the Panzer IIIe. He does do some ram damage to me, but he is now wiped out and I'm tracked. And now I'm moving to engage the BT7 Art as my next target. Oh, no. T70 locked on. Now I'm not getting through him, and I'm running short of armour piercing, so I switch to the APCR. Still not getting through his armour. Now I am. It's just a matter of getting close enough. Now I've loaded the AP again. T116, easily pen him, but I'm running out of AP, and now I'm onto the APCR. But this should make it very easy for me to get the pens. And he's gone. M3 Stuart's gone. BT7 Arts next. And he's not running away fast enough really. He should be turning and running away as fast as he possibly can. But he's just kind of backed himself up against the wall, and he's going to die for it. Okay, Amarakan, that's my top gun. Now I made a bit of a mistake here actually, and I suppose really I could have engaged these guys here and the guys in the cap through this gap. It would have been perfectly possible. I see the Panzer 1C, I get one round into him, then the Panzer 3J, but my shells start ricocheting off the Panzer 3J, so I thought, well, I'm having a bit of a problem here. I get a couple of penetrations. Again, I'm running short on ammo. I've blown so much ammo on those 6 kills already. And the mistake I made really was was trying to engage the enemy tanks in their cap area straight away and not going in with the others or trying to outfox the enemy and going around behind them. Now I've got a reasonably big force, but we're still only one tank ahead. My big concern is that the enemy does have 2 tank destroyers, and I'm expecting those guys to be still at the cap area. M8A1 and an IKV-72, and of those two, the IKV-72 is probably going to be the biggest problem. It's very low profile, very difficult to see, and I couldn't see him there, so I had to move ahead. I could see there was some distraction near the cap area, so I thought that one of them might have actually shot at me, but failed to hit me. So my mistake here was not going around the outside and dealing with the enemy around the outside first. Instead, I decided I was going to go straight in and try and use that rock as cover. But I'm afraid, yes, it was a bit of a mistake, and I realise that now. First shot on the M8A1 is not a hit, and then obviously I spot the T28, not a T29. He's got a 57mm gun. In fact, actually, I think he's using the 76mm actually, or is he? No, it is the 57mm. Okay, I've lost my driver. Could put him back in, but there was really no need to at this point. And then I saw the IKV-72, and he got a pen on me, and yeah, I had too low on hit points to actually engage the IKV-72, and he managed to get me out of the game. But our team has still got 1 tank up on the enemy, and I know I've got a top gun. I know potentially I've got a high caliber as well, and well, I thought I'd wait it out and see exactly how my team managed to deal with it. They found the Panzer 1C, and I'm just cycling through my teammates to see who's going to be in action next. It might be this T116, or it could be the Valentine up there. I was fairly hopeful that my team would win this, so I was confident enough to stick around and watch what was going to happen next. Admittedly, a lot of these guys are noobs, and they probably haven't played the game very long. And there's the Panzer 1C, and surprisingly, he actually managed to make his way into the wrecked house, which is kind of unusual because you wouldn't think that it's actually possible to get into that wrecked house, but apparently he did. Now the T116 is firing at him, but I don't think he can actually hit him from there, and I think it's the Valentine that can actually get the kill on the Panzer 1C. The T127, the premium Tier 3 Soviet light tank, is going around the outside of the house. You can see that the Panzer 1C's managed to get into that wrecked room, and I really don't know how he managed to do it, but he's in there. And the T127 is now being engaged from the enemy cap area. Yep, just not sure how that Panzer 1C managed to get in there, but he did. But the Valentine is nearby, and I think the Valentine is now engaging the enemy tanks in the cap area. Yep. The T28's gone down, the IKV-72's gone down, and that means now there's only 2 enemies left. The Panzer 1C, who's kind of trapped, can't really come out of there. But I don't think he'll be there for long. And there he goes, he's dead. Killed by the T116 in the end, who got him. And the T127 is now headed into the cap area, but the enemy M8A1 was killed by our T29, so we did get a victory after all. So how did I get on in this game? Well, I think this was a foreshadowing of the massacre that was to come with the Matilda. Yes, here's the end of battle results. I managed to get an ace tanker in the Panzer B2. And in fact, it was my first ace tanker in this vehicle, and I was a bit surprised that it'd taken me so long to get around to getting an ace, because I've had this tank for years, and I just didn't take it out. I've only taken it out a few times. I got a demolition expert because I blew up the Panzer BT7 Art. I got a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points for my own vehicle, a sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy, and a master gunner for getting 5 armor penetrating hits in a row, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged me, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. I got 14. I did get a couple of battle hero medals. I got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and the top gun for getting at least 6 kills, and my win rate was 14,290, but I did make some crucial errors, and I shouldn't have tried to engage the enemy tanks in their cap area with such such few hit points left on my tank, and without the associated forces, the rest of my team. I should have waited until they all got together and then gone in as part of a team attack to make sure that all the enemy tanks went down. When we look at the team score, we can see that yes, I easily managed to get the highest damage in that game, 2,584 hit points. The next high scorer had less than half, and that was the M8A1, who got 1,162 hit points. When it came to kills, again I got the highest number, 6, and the highest other score was the Panzer 3J rather, who managed to get a cool headed, the T29, who managed to get a Leather Slayer's medal, and then 2 members of the enemy team, the M8A1 and the IKV-72, all got 2 kills each, 1/3 of the number I managed to get. And when it came to base XP, yes, I got the top in all 3 columns because I got 1,584 base. The next highest scorer being 457 for the T29 and 420 for the Panzer 3J. I fired 67 rounds in that game, got 59 direct hits and 48 penetrations, damage of 2,584 hit points, all of it done at close range. 29 hits received, only 6 actually penetrated, but the ones that did pen and did the most damage, really, I suppose you might say, are the ones that actually finally killed me. The IKV got some very nasty damage on me with his gun, and 19 non-penetrations, mostly from the low caliber guns on the tier 3 tanks that were trying to take me out. I also received 4 hits by way of splash damage, mostly from the BT7 Arts and the other ones who were firing HE. 728 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 11 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 71 hit points of damage assistance. I earned 64,386 credits, and after repair and ammunition respawn, it was the ammunition that cost me in this one because there was a lot of APCR was fired, 36,108 credits profit and 25 bonds. I got 2,376 XP for the game, times 4 for the first victory, 1,188 for being a premium vehicle, and 2,376 from personal reserves, and took away 13,068 experience points altogether. I say, anyone else want a piece of this? Because there were just so many of them attacking me all at the same time, and it was like, you know, come on if you think you're hard enough and try and take me out. And I think actually my move to actually get rid of the Strodny first enabled me to take them on one by one and take them out on equal terms. If I'd let them all attack me at the same time, then I might have gone out of the game, because I'm sure some of them would have found a weak spot and managed to penetrate. But it was unusual because this assault actually happened in exactly the same spot where I then later had the battle with the Matilda and had the massacre, or the video you might have seen already, the Matilda Part 2 massacre. Yes, same spot, exactly the same spot. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.